I know what fawning is, but I've never heard it in that context.
Yeah, there's four responses: flight, fight, freeze, and fawn.
And people always say fight or flight, and they forget freeze. And me today, I've never heard of fawn.
Freeze is actually a very common one, too.
Super common. I think most people who experience trauma as a child, they go into freeze mode. That's what you'll hear in most accounts.
And when I say that they forget it, they forget when they're saying fight or flight. They don't say freeze. People do freeze.
Oh, 100. Like even right now, I didn't say it, but that is true. Those are all different responses that can happen for sure.
Yeah, I advocate for people to role play within themselves to get out of that freeze real quick. Try not to ever get into that. Hopefully, you can develop that skill to avoid ever getting into the freeze. Ever. If you want to learn about trauma responses, freeze, that's the one that hits different.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I wanted to say is from my experience. One time, this woman who was married, I was dropping her off at the airport, and she offered me to fly with her, just like drop everything and fly with her to Miami, I think it was. And I was sitting there, and I was like, she's paying for the hotel room, she's paying for everything, and I didn't want to put myself in the situation, because I could see myself fawning in that situation. And I would be sitting there talking about it and smiling over the situation, but I would have broken one of my rules of contributing to another man's woman. As far as in that situation, I know I'm good at not putting myself in situations.
So you're saying that you would have felt bought?
Yeah, I would have felt bought, and I would have willingly accepted it. I'm not calling myself a fawning victim, but it was a situation. Oh, I'm sitting here and I'm in the situation, and a lot of that might be I could be making excuses, but a lot of it might be societal. It's like, oh, I'm not going to be like going in this situation and not following through on this. It's like if I'm in San Diego, it's like it's different. I could leave. I could just like go walk on the street and then know how to get out of there, even if I have to walk home to a certain situation. But I'm all the way across the country. It's a different situation.
Abusers will use that tactic actually quite a bit, also to destabilize their target. Is they'll leave them while they're on vacation, and that's a very vulnerable place to be. Is when you're not.
Yes,
at
it
home.
is.
And they leave you stranded somewhere. You don't have a car. You don't.
It's a very helpless
feeling. You may not even
feeling,
have your
for
passport
sure.
or your whatever.
Yeah.
So sometimes if a young lady comes back to my place, I'll leave her there and say I'm going to pick up some condoms, and to give her time to think about what's happening. Yeah. So I'm not constantly on top of her, giving her space to undecide that situation. And definitely when there's no drinking or anything involved in that, unless when she was sober, we decided that drinking, if she had a few beers, it's okay.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about that. I'm going to be honest with you.
Why's that?
Because if your inclination at all is that she is not 100%, willing and giving in that moment, I don't know. To me, that kind of seems like maybe there could be a little red flag
But also, the assumption from your side is that women know 100% when they're 100%.
That's correct.
Yeah. So that's why I may be oversensitive to.
I definitely can see how it's sensitive for you.
Yeah,
you're like, I'm not sure if you're sure,
Yeah.
let me give you space.
Is it okay? Am I allowed to stab you with my penis?
Well, it's kind of but also it's like it's a weird.
Stab you in a loving way.
I'm one of the few guys that like think about this. I'm like thinking I'm not just guarding against it being okay right now. I'm guarding it against it because there's life choices she can make in the first. She could become a Christian all of a sudden. She could become. There's lots of things that could change over time, and that's a lot of stress.
Are you guarding your heart, your possible connection to someone who maybe isn't like committed to the connection, like in your choice? Like, is it connected to that, or like is the sensitivity connected to maybe prior connections, interactions, relationships where there was maybe something said, well, you took advantage of me, or
It's more seeing things in society.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say,
what's out there.
There's probably some women that would say that I wasn't 100% locked in, but from my point of view, I've never broke that. In my past self, I make the joke, and it's not necessarily good. Now I say it's not good to say as a joke that my consent game is like at a whole nother level. As far as like that, my consent game's like at a whole nother level. I had
Pop
3
quiz, hot shot.
Yeah.
Can consent be withdrawn at any moment?
Oh yeah, 100%.
At any moment.
So when you say any moment, are you talking about after the fact? So say we're writing stuff back and
No,
forth, and
after
she says
the fact.
after
No.
said, she says, "Oh yeah, 100%."
To the moment of completion for both people.
See, it's interesting. It's interesting coming from a man's standpoint.
What if she never completes? So maybe it can be withdrawn. Maybe you need to go back and finish that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Good food for thought, though. I like the devil's advocate.
I think laughter is the best medicine, and it's good that we're doing this from
because
that standpoint.
this is a pretty heavy topic that we're talking about today. So yeah, we gotta lighten it up with whatever lightheartedness that feels.
Because we just don't want to put doubt in the situation. We want to like emotionally connect with things so people can make decisions during it, because doubt doesn't necessarily make you more aware.
No, doubt is fear.
Yeah.
Doubt is and when fear comes up, we know that we're having a response. I don't want to say trauma response, because that could, might not be fully accurate, but we're definitely having a response, and we're taking in either something we experienced from the past or something that we have believed to be true in our life, and now it's coming to the present moment, and now something that was a yes is now, oh, I don't know, I'm unsure. And that there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. However, especially with things like sex and stuff like that, I feel like we have to be really grounded. Like, we need to be grounded in like what is good for me in this moment, rather than making rash decisions, especially with things like that, because this is a whole nother topic. Maybe we could talk about it another time, but like, sex is so sacred. It's a portal to the divine.
Yes.
Like, it literally can elevate your energy or deplete you, and then you wonder why you feel depressed after sex. So the consent around that and really being grounded in this is aligning for me energetically is so important. Like, having interactions with people that you don't necessarily respect, you're unsure about their intentions, so on and so forth, probably not the best decision.
This actually does correlate specifically to my research, though.
Oh, tell us more.
Well, consent